Hello there, welcome to this channel. In this video we are going to talk about CSS animation. What is CSS animation? CSS animation is used to animate the user interface, to change the style of the user interface gradually. Here inside the HTML I have this section called test animation. This is how it looks like. We are going to learn animation on this section element. So for animation you have something called keyframes. And here comes the name of your animation. Let us say test animation, and then inside of this block, so whatever goes inside curly brackets or curly braces called block. So it is a block. You have two ways to give different styles here. One way is to use from keyword, and here give a style with 100 pixel. Here we say width 20 pixel, and then the other one you have 2, and we want the width to be 400 pixels. This is like from 0% to 100%. And then here you gave your animation. Animation is a template for the following values or animation properties. You have first the animation name, then you have the animation duration, then you have the animation timing function. Animation timing function is the same as the timing function inside transition that we have talked about previously in this video. Then you have animation delay, then you have animation iteration count, then you have animation direction, then you have animation fill mode, then you have animation play state. This is the syntax of animation. For each one of these you have also a separate CSS property. For example, you have here animation name. Let us give it test animation. That is the name of the animation in this one. Then you have animation duration. Let us say it should take 2 seconds. And then you have animation timing function. So you got the idea. You have for every one of these, you have animation delay, animation iteration count, animation direction, fill mode, play state. It is not mandatory that you give value for all of these. That if you give only the name and the duration, it will work perfectly. So I comment this one, and then you see it happened only once. If I refresh this again, you see it goes from that pixel to this one. So it happens only one time, because by default the animation iteration count is set by 1, but you have many values for iteration count. You can specify a number of times, for example 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, 1 million times, or you have also infinite that goes forever. Here we say the width is 100 pixels, and here from is it 20 pixels. So the 20 pixel from will stay, will override this one. So we give here animation iteration count. You have infinite or a specific iteration count, let's say 8 times. So it will happen 8 times and then it will stop. If you say infinite, it will happen forever. It will never stop. So for the keyframe, you have from and to is like 0% to 100%, or you can specify here many styles by using percentage. For example, say 0% with 20, and then say 20% with 40, and then say 40%, 90, 60%, here we have one more percent. It has to be closed, and then 20% is now there is say 30%. We want it to be 60, 40%, that much, and this much we want 120. And then for 80% we want it to be 240, and then we can give for 100% we want it to be 440. Now the auto format on save, changing this from that to this, so it's no problem. Now you see the animation does not look so good. It is because of the animation timing function. Animation timing function. Here you have is in out. Let us try that. It is a little bit better. You have is in, and then you have field mode, animation field mode, then you have backwards, both, forwards, let's say both. Backwards, And by specifying the animation play state, you can say it running or paused. For example, animation play state, we say paused, so it will stop. Even we say the iteration count is infinite, but we said here play state paused, so it stays paused. And if we disable this, it starts animating again. If you stop at that position, it will pause at that position. You can change it to, for example, happen 5 seconds. Also add here delay, animation delay 2 seconds, and then let us change the pause to running. And then the iteration count, let's say to happen only 3 times. Now you see when I refresh the page, we see a 2-second delay before the animation starts. So here you can give different styles. For example, you can change here the background to green. The original background is teal. You can say here background blue, background this blue, and on 100% we say background purple. The style also changes gradually, not that it jumps to from one color to another color. Let us set the weight here in 200, and then remove some percentage from here and do some other thing with this. On 30% and on 60%, instead of width, now we are going to use transform and rotate. Here we want to rotate 45 degree, and then on 30 we want to transform, rotate 90 degree, transform, rotate 180 degree, and then transform, rotate 10 degree. And the iteration count, let us say infinite. Now you see let us also give margin left 50 pixels. So by giving different values for timing function, you have values like linear, is in, is out, is in, out, is deep start, and cubic b0, that gives different values. These are the possible values for animation timing functions. You have linear, is in, is out, is in, out, steep start, steep end, and you have also another one for step and then giving the start and the end using comma separated values, and you have cubic b0. I don't know how you pronounce it right. I just said cubic b0 how I see it. I say it also like that. Then you have values in, that is x1, y1, and then another one is x2, y2. x1 and x2 must have the value from 0 to 1, so between 0 and 1, and the other one y1 and y2 can have different values. For example, here we have for the x1 0.2, and then for the x2 0.9, and then we have 50, 80, and this is how it looks like. It is running and running. Let us change in this to like 10. Change in this to 8. Change in this one to 5. Now you know all the options about CSS animations. You can play with it. Final word about CSS animation. You can give animation to any HTML element in this way, or you can give it using JavaScript. In JavaScript, it is the best practice that you give here a class and then put all the animation properties inside that class, and then use a one-line code JavaScript to insert or remove this class from HTML element, like giving the animation or removing the animation. For example, say default animation, and we can give all of this here. Now that element does not have the animation unless you give this class to that element. So this is that class CSS animation, now has no animation. And if we give this, now I gave it directly manually, but you can use JavaScript to add class or remove class. If I give this again, it gets the animation. So this is the best practice about animation.